Okay, so kind of gone back and forth for the past couple of days trying to figure out if I'm going to make this video or not. So I'm gonna shoot it. If you're watching it on YouTube, then you know that it went up. So the other day I watched Rick Beato's video talking about his most embarrassing moments, and I loved it. I watched the whole video and it kind of got me thinking about my most embarrassing moments, and this one moment in particular came to mind. Not only was it one of my most embarrassing moments of my entire life, it was also one of the worst moments I've ever had on stage ever. I've screwed parts up. I've hit plenty of wrong notes and wrong chords. I've almost puked on stage a couple of times for various reasons. We won't talk about that here. This is not a puke story, thankfully. So if you're squeamish about that, don't worry. So anyways, I've played a lot of gigs and I've had some embarrassing moments, but this one by far was the worst and most embarrassing. A little bit of a background. This happened in December of 2017. I was playing in a band called Muddy Magnolias. I've been playing with that band for about 2.5 years, and we went on tour as direct support or opening for another band called the Revivalists. So we were on tour with the Revivalists for about 2.5 weeks, and we started in Colorado and worked our way back east. It was a really great opportunity, and it ended up actually being an amazing tour despite this whole debacle that happened. So we start the tour in Denver, and it was an amazing show. We played a room there called the Fillmore. It was a sold-out crowd, so we were feeling really great. First show was amazing. We were headed into the second show, and it was a much smaller club. I think it was a 400-seat club, where the venue the night before was like, I think 3,000 or 4,000. So very different vibe. But it was cool because those tighter rooms are a lot more intimate. And when they're sold out, which the headliner had sold this room out, they're a lot of fun because you are right in there with the crowd and you can feel the energy coming back and forth. I mean, those are honestly my favorite rooms to play. So we load in, get to sound check, everything's going well. My rig was sounding great. I was happy with the tone and everything. And it comes time for our set, for our show. And we load the stage, really excited, amped up crowd. And right as we get into the second song, my guitar starts to kind of fade in and out. I'm playing the chorus and I'm not getting as much volume as I should be getting. And I kind of look down, I hit one of my pedals on and off, nothing changes, and I immediately think, oh no, I'm losing a cable. A cable somewhere is going bad. Now this happens, you know, there's ways to deal with this, but in the moment I kind of panicked and wasn't thinking. So get out of the first chorus into the second verse, and my guitar just quits. My guitar signal just completely goes out. And here's the thing, the lineup of the band was guitar, bass, drums, a lead vocalist, and a background singer. So when one of the 3 musical instruments on stage just stops playing, like, it's noticeable. Everybody in that club immediately knew something was wrong. Unplug the cable from my amp, plug it back in, nothing's working. And I look up to the crowd, and it was most of the people in the room were just staring right at me because it was obvious that I was having an issue. And that's where things started to go off the rails. When I saw everybody in that room looking back at me, I panicked and wasn't thinking. So my next move was to start ripping my pedal board apart to try and find the bad cable. I would unplug one pedal, I'd plug into the next one, hit the guitar, nothing would happen. I'd pull that pedal off, plug into the next pedal, hit the guitar, nothing would happen. While this is happening, the band is still playing, but keep in mind it's only bass, drums, and vocals, and we were a rock band. So having a guitarless rock band was pretty awkward, to say the least. But they were pros. They knew that I was having a problem. They knew that I would figure it out. So they kept playing. This goes on for the remainder of that song and into the next song. It was a song where just the singer and I started. I had this really unique guitar part that had to be played, that played off of the vocalist. There was no bass, only a kick drum and guitar. Needless to say, our singer played it a cappella, which was incredibly awkward. And because this is a tight club, the front row of people are standing right up against the stage, and they were 18 inches away from me. So I'm looking down at my pedal board trying to fix it, and I look up, and there's just a row of people about as far away from me as the camera is now, just staring at me, just watching me. At this point, the stage is littered with remnants of my pedal board. I've got pedals and patch cables and power supply cables literally laying on the stage all in front of me. And I did not know what to do. The band at this point had kind of done everything that they could do, and they were looking at me like, do we need to stop the show? Because we can't finish the set with just bass and drums. It would just be weird. Should we just stop? And that's when I realized, yeah, you should just go straight into the front of the amp. You should have realized that a song and a half ago when this started, and this would not have been an issue. Now, the reason this is the most embarrassing experience for me was what happened after the show. If you're a guitar player, you're a gigging guitar player, you know this kind of thing has happened to you before. Patch cables go bad, it's a normal thing. So that's embarrassing, but it's not the worst thing ever. But after the show, I freaked out. I was so angry and livid at myself, which looking back was like such a dumb thing. Why did I get so angry? But I was embarrassed. I was flustered. Everyone in the band was super cool. They were like, dude, it happens. It's okay. But I kind of lost my mind backstage. I had my road cases from my amp set up that I went backstage and kicked the road cases down a flight of stairs. I had my pedal board case that I kicked over. I was throwing a temper tantrum backstage like a child because my gear failed. It was not a professional way to act. It was not a cool way to act. I've never done that before or since. And I caught myself right when I was playing this guitar, and I had it backstage in my hands. I'd kicked my road cases over, and I pulled my guitar off my shoulder and almost just threw it down the flight of stairs. And that's when I caught myself. This is ridiculous. This is such a stupid way to react in this situation. I was really, really embarrassed. And the next day, I realized how stupid and unprofessionally I had acted in that situation. It should have never... I should have never done that, but I did, and I'm not proud of it, which is why I've been going back and forth on whether or not I'm going to release this video or not. But if I do, it's because hopefully someone out there can learn from my mistakes and where I went wrong. First of all, from a gear perspective, when your pedal board goes out, just plug into the front of the amp. It's simple, it's fine. Secondly, don't freak out after a show and start kicking your gear over, because at the end of the day, the only person that's gonna hurt is you. If I had thrown this guitar down the stairs, I would have had to replace it at my own cost. So I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been so stupid. So that was the worst experience I've ever had on stage. I want to know some of your embarrassing stories, some of your horror stories of being on a gig. Let me know in the comments section down below what's the worst or most embarrassing thing that's happened to you on stage. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you want to support the channel directly, you can check out the Green Room, which is linked down below, where you can sign up for Skype lessons with me each month or download my original music. Also, follow me on Instagram at Rhett Shull. And if you are a Kemper user, I've got a few new profile packs getting ready to drop on my website very soon. That's all linked in the description box as well. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was embarrassing. I'm now embarrassed talking about it again, but you know, who cares? I'm Rhett Shull. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.